Now we're approaching the end of the course, and there's a couple formula functions that we didn't discuss earlier that I think are going to help you. We're going to take a look, check out this list, and then I'm going to show you the shortcuts we're about to review if you want to take a screen capture of that. Or you can always look at the slide references in the resource section. We've got inserting the named range into formulas using F3. You can use the named range dialog box using Ctrl F3. You can toggle between formula view and the other view using Control and this symbol right here. And then you can use the go to dialog box. We're going to talk about that. F9 is a cool feature for refreshing, calculating a workbook or a section, depending on where your mouse is. So let's jump right in. Hey, welcome back. Many of the shortcuts we learned so far, they fit in nicely into groups, and they fit with other shortcuts that you can use as combos. And that's kind of what this course was built around. However, there's still some other shortcuts out there that are really awesome that I still want to share with you before this course is over. So we're going to jump into those right now. And if you look at this section right here, this is what we're going to talk about. So let's get to our demo. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you is how to use our named range. And the way to use our named range, first, let's see what named ranges we have out there already. And all a named range is like a saved range of cells that you can reuse and that you put a name to it so you can call it again and again. So let's see what we have out there. You pull up the name range dialog box, and here are the ones that we have. So this sales amount one, let's delete, let's pretend that one doesn't exist. So you saw we had one already. We're going to check that again later, so don't worry if you missed it. But we're going to add our own name range right now. So let's pull up the name range dialog box, and we're going to add this sales amount range over here. So let's press Ctrl F3. So now we're going to add a new range, and we're going to call it sales amount table. And we'll call it 1 because there's a second one over to its right. Make sure you don't have any spaces or special characters because that'll throw off the range. It'll tell you right away that there's an error. You can call it from other workbooks or whatever you want. You can put a comment here to tell you what it stands for, and then in this box you're going to tell it what it refers to. So this is where you actually choose the cells that are in the range. Let's do that now. Just hit this button. Could have hit the enter button. What I find is that if I include the column names, it causes a mess for me later. So I'm not going to do that. Let's do that right now. Press the enter button, and it looks like our range is pretty good. And you know what? We have the salesperson, but I want to double check to see what's in here. So let's edit this one. Salesperson, edit this range. That looks pretty good. Okay, so let's actually use some of the ranges that we have. Let's say equals Vlookup. We're going to look up this J7 right here. J7, and then we're going to look for it in one of our named ranges. So let's press the F3 button, and there we have two named ranges. We're going to use this salesperson in our lookup. And we're going to return their last name, and then false for the exact match. Let's see what happens here. Great, that looks pretty good. Let's try this right now. Press your Ctrl D to copy it all the way down, and you see some of these didn't quite get the memo because K7, highlight the whole thing, Control down, and look at that, we updated it pretty smoothly right there. So now we got a good VLOOKUP going. Last name, we can see the last name. That's how you call upon a named range. And if we wanted to create a new one really quickly, if you remember how to do this, we would just press the Control F3, and then we have our name ranges here, and we could quickly add a new range by clicking this button or tabbing around and pressing enter on that new button, and that would allow us to create a brand new range. The next thing I want to talk about is how to toggle between formula view and the view where it shows you the answers basically. So we do have a formula, this VLOOKUP formula, in this last name column. So that is now a good example. If we want to press Control and then this little tack button, I'm forgetting what it's called, but it looks like a little accent button. It's secondary key for your escape key. So if you press Control function escape, look, it just converted anything that had a formula. It just got converted so it shows the formula instead of the answer generated by that formula. So if you want to quickly look at all the formulas in there, so press Control backtick and it'll show you all of your formulas in your sheet. And you can quickly switch that off by pressing Control backtick again, and then you're back to seeing the answers from your formulas. So that's a pretty cool trick right there. Anyway, let's use our dialog box now. So Control G, and this is the go-to dialog box. And what you can do here is just quickly go to any named range, or you can call your own cell to go to. So if you know exactly which cell is maybe at the end of your data or in the middle where you have to do some data entry, you can call it right here. There's a lot more options with this go-to if you want to get into that right there. But anyway, those are most of the keys in this lesson that I want to talk about. Another one that's pretty cool, here's some bonus material for you. Didn't even advertise it. Okay, so I want to throw in the refresh and recalculate. So what you'll need here, if you're going to do refresh and recalculate, you're going to need a linked data source, like pull from a SQL table or any kind of live data that you're pulling from. Or this even works if you're refreshing a table of your own data. So like right here, stock market features, it's actually pretty sweet. You go to the data tab in here and then you put a ticker symbol and you press the stock button and it's going to convert it into a stock information. And then you can actually like pull whatever type of stock data you want from their menu. It's actually a really cool feature. This isn't a class on stocks, or I've seen people try to find ways to get Excel to work with stock market, and it already does a pretty decent job of that. So hey, maybe that's worth it just for buying this course, just to know that right there. Anyway, hope that works for you. But what I came here for and digressed is the refreshing. It's Control Alt F5. So if you want to refresh this data real quick, Control Alt F5, and that refreshes all of your pivot tables and all of your data. So that's a cool function to have. So all the stock market information was just refreshed by hitting that sequence of keys. So that's all I have for this lesson. Hopefully you found some useful tips there.